Hi folks, the purpose of this brief mini lecture is to review the instructions for the annotated bibliography with you. In one of the earlier videos, I briefly touched on this a little bit, so I just want to go into a little more detail here for you. Now, after you have gathered all of your research, what you're going to do is you're going to summarize the main points of your sources and then explain how you're going to use that in your paper. Up to this point, what we've done is we've discussed some possible topics for you. You've come up with some possible questions that you'd like to have answered in your research. And at this point, you should begin to think about forming a tentative thesis statement as well. And what you're going to do is you're going to take this research question and this tentative thesis, and then you're going to go to a library or library databases and begin to locate your formal academic sources. As I mentioned in class, you can't use sources from the World Wide Web. You must use library sources like journal articles, academic journals, books, newspapers, magazines, that type of thing. And you want to be sure that you're using different types of sources and not all of one type. So the librarian at this point is about to review the library's databases with you, or probably already has. So what I've done for you in these instructions is I've provided a direct link to the library's databases for you. So if you just click that, it takes you directly to that page where you can access those databases. If you click from here, they've changed the link on me a little bit. You click Charlotte Campus, and then from Charlotte Campus, click Charlotte Campus Library. And then here from the library's Charlotte page, you want to click Articles. And what you're going to get here is a list of all of the library's databases. Now, I've mentioned several for you that I think are going to be helpful. As far as general topics go, you want to use Academic Search Complete. There's also CQ Researcher. And another that's good for general topics is LexisNexis Academic. This one here. Now, if any of you are doing anything that's related to an environmental topic, there are two great databases. Those are Greenfile and Greener. And I know some of you are doing corporate topics, business topics, so you may find something in a business database as well, and there are several of those listed here under B. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this research question, this possible tentative research topic, thesis statement, and you're going to locate 10 sources that answer that question or somehow address that tentative thesis. What you're going to do is take all 10 of these sources then and read them with a pen in your hand, and somehow mark them up as you read, underlining the important ideas, circling or starring things that you think are important or relevant, taking notes as you read, and that's very, very important. I know in high school a lot of teachers ask you to do note cards. I'm not going to ask you to do that. I don't think it's really necessary. But what you will need to do is, as you read, make notes in the margins as you read, noting questions that occur to you as you read, but also noting connections between the ideas and the sources that you find. What you're going to do is, from these 10 sources, you're going to select 6 sources that you feel are going to be the most relevant to your topic and probably the most helpful. So you're going to then, from the 6, you're going to do an annotation. Now, an annotation looks exactly like this here. Yours is going to be a little longer than this. This is like a shorter version. But there's 3 steps. First step is to give me the MLA citation. Now, there are some really good sources on the web that can help you do this MLA citation, and I'll show you that very quickly. If you go to our class website and go to the links page, on that links page, you're going to see several things that you can use here. But the one that I like the best is called EasyBib. It'll actually keep a running works cited page for you, and it also gives you the option of adding an annotation if you want. So you can do your entire annotated bibliography in here. This is an awesome source. Like if you have a book, for instance, all you have to do is look on the back of the book and type in the ISBN number, and then it'll do the citation for you. It's also got journals, things from databases, all the other options that you're going to possibly need. They're all here as well, and so All you do is tell it which citation that you're doing, which type of citation, whether it's MLA, APA, or Chicago style, and then it just will automatically write the citation for you. You can either copy and paste it over into Word, or like I said, you can just keep a running works cited in here, and then at the end it gives you the option of actually converting that to a Word document. So this is my favorite source, but there are some others. But that's an easy way to get your MLA citation. So let's go back to the instructions and look at this again. So there's 3 steps. First one is the MLA citation for your source. Then the next part is actually pretty easy as long as you underline the main points as you read. Essentially what you're going to do in this section is you're going to give me 8 to 10 sentences summarizing the main points of your source. And again, all you need to really do if you've annotated as you read is to go back and look at what you underlined or circled or starred, and you can use that to help you summarize the main points of that source. And then the very last part that you do is in the last part of the annotation, in one sentence, you're going to explain to me how you think you're going to use that information in your paper. Now, ultimately, it doesn't necessarily have to be, but what you're simply doing is predicting how you think you're going to use it. Now, obviously, what you don't want to do is you don't want to give me an annotation for a source that you just don't think you're going to use, because that's just a complete waste of time. So only do this for the sources you think you're going to use, and then directly explain how you're going to use it. Like you can see here, this student said, I will use this article 2, and then they give me the specific way that they thought that they were going to use that source. So you're going to do this for 6 of the 10 sources that you find, and again, these are going to be the 6 that you feel you're most likely to use. And I'll give you, let me see if this link works. I'm not sure if this is going to work, so no. So let me go back and show you an example annotated bibliography. There's a link for this from the schedule page. So essentially what you're going to do is take those 6 then, and you have to alphabetize them by author's last name. So you'll see, notice that each one of these starts with the author last name, comma, first name, and they're in alphabetical order. Now, sometimes you'll have sources without an author, and in that case, what you do is you alphabetize by the first letter of the first word of the title, unless the first word is A, N, or V. And in that case, what you do is you alphabetize by the first letter of the second word. And so you'll take each of those 6 annotations, and you can put this all in one Word document if you want to. And what you'll have when you finish this is all of the research that you need to write your research paper. As I told you in class, you can't write the research paper without having read all the research carefully. So that's the point of this assignment, is to help you gather the research, make sure you have credible sources and information that's going to be helpful to you before you sit down to begin to write your first draft. So obviously, like I've told you in the past, if you have any questions about this assignment or any concerns or need any help, shoot me an email. You can contact me on Facebook. You have my cell phone number. Just be sure that you don't sit back and do nothing and not know what to do and don't understand it. Just be sure you get in contact with me and let me know what your questions are.